The Impossible Heir on Hulu is a story about characters trying to take the throne of Korea's largest conglomerate. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another review on the Review Garden. I'm not 100% sure who the main character is. Maybe there's two main leads in here. There's Teo and then there's Inha. Teo is from he doesn't have money. He's from a broke background. His father, or should I say his stepfather, is in jail, and people think that, people think that he killed his mom. He's very abusive, and they did show you in episode 1 that the mom is not dead. When he got a phone call from his dad from prison, he ran to his mom, to get her to move somewhere else. She was in a temple, like her hair was cut off, so she was hiding out as a monk in the temple. So when the father called him and was like, she can't hide forever, which is true, because when he was saying goodbye to his mom on the bus, you saw his dad's men running to, come find them. So that's pretty much his background. Now, in his background, he's rich, but his father has a lot of money, but he's also the illegitimate child, right? And he has 2 older brothers, and I'm guessing a younger sister. She looks very young, but they didn't really say if she's younger than him or not. But he's the illegitimate one, and they don't want anything to do with him. They have him, they put him in a house, but in terms of interacting, they don't interact with him. And I think this is where, the title comes in, because the father is looking into the 2 older brothers to take over the company. Technically, him as being a leader of the company, no one would allow that. Not even, the father's wife. So they come up with a plan to try to get everyone what they want. So a little background into the beginning. So Teo moved to the town, bought himself a house, and this was during their high school years. And, he saw Teo in the streets. Teo was stealing, pretty much acting like a jerk. And, they end up going to the same high school, and Teo didn't like what he said to him. I mean, not Teo. Inha didn't like what Teo said to him. So, he started picking on him and fighting with him. Then somehow they made up, because, Teo wanted to learn how to fight. And Inha said, if you could beat me, I'll teach you. And, during the time when they were fighting, he was just imagining his dad, who was very abusive. So he started beating on Inha. Then, he kind of Teo told Inha, like, hey, let's be partners. I'm going to use you, pretty much. He told him from the beginning, I'm going to use you to get to where I want to be. And then you can use me to, get whatever you want. And he was like, whatever I want? You don't even have any, means to get me what I want. And he's like, yeah, but I got smarts. So, whatever you want, I can give it to you. So then they started showing you their college years, right? And this is where, like, even from the beginning, I didn't like Inha, and I still don't like him. Because you can't tell me that Teo, like, by college years, they're a little bit more friendly, right? So Teo is like, he likes Haiwan, right? So the other girl that comes in between them, that he likes her. And then what does Inha do? He's like asking her out right in front of him. And I'm like, you're friends or not, you're still a jerk. And it's like Teo, I mean, I guess he can't really do anything about it or something. I don't know. But she turned him down in front of Teo, which from episode 1, you could kind of see that maybe she likes Teo. During the college years, they kind of live across from each other. And just like Teo having, issues with his family and his dad is abusive, she also has an abusive mom who just comes to her house and like starts smashing her windows in and asking her for money. So they kind of have that thing in common. I mean, I guess all three of them kind of have parent issues, because they don't want to see him. They don't care for him. When in his case, it's not his fault, but his attitude and his personality is annoying. And just based off the first episode alone, to be quite honest, I don't really care for this to be a romance. It's really based on, Hulu. It's a revenge tragedy. So quite honestly, I don't really care for her to end up with any one of them. And I could say I'm on Teo's side because I cannot stand Inha's character, but I just started watching it because a lot of people were like, oh, this show's so great based off the first 2 episodes. So we shall see how great it truly is. So the chairman is ruthless, Inha's father, right? So the wife got Inha to sign an inheritance waiver, and he got mad at the wife, right? So the sister, she's really, I'm guessing she's a younger sister. He's like in between, Inha is like in between the sister and the middle brother. So she was like, invite him to dinner, because they always have dinner together and they just never invite him. So, the mother is against it. The older brother is against it. The middle brother, on the other hand, he just keeps quiet most of the time. But yeah, the younger sister, she was the one who pushed the dad. Like, please, Dad, invite him over. And then so, he was like, okay, let's invite him over to dinner. But then you see him meeting with his wife, and, he brings up the inheritance waiver, and he was like, did you think I would not know about it? And she's like, is that why you're doing this? Well, here it is. You can rip it up. So, Teo is thinking that he probably has an issue with it because that was his plan all along. But because the wife did it on her own, he's like mad at her and being, nice to Inha. just so that he could put her in her place. I mean, that is some twisted What I want to know is who exactly does, she thinks she is the mom, right? If I'm, if I'm reading the subtitles correctly, right? The oldest son calls her Madam Jew or something. And the only person who calls her mom is the daughter. So that means that, she's the current wife. She's not the mom of the first two, or maybe just the first one, right? The second son never opens his mouth on the dinner table. So, I don't know yet if she's his mom, but for some reason she hates in his gut. So that means the other ones are not your kids either, but you tolerate them. Why do you hate him? So was she married to the chairman when the chairman had, impregnated in his mom? Because that's the only way it would make sense that she hates him so much, right? Because you can't tell me that he was an outside kid and then you came in and married the chairman and then you just hate him out of the other two, right? So it had to have been she married him and then he had an affair and then, she had her own kid. But I'm like, she's acting so tough like that, but at any point he can also kick her out. Like she doesn't have that much ground that she thinks she does, because you can ask yourself, okay, one, what happened to Inha's mom? Like, where is she? And then two, what happened to the first son? The first two sons, what happened to their mom? Like, you're just here right now. At any point, this man can be like, get the fuck out. It seems Weiju, Inha's sister, has a crush on Teo, and she can't stand it that Haiwan and Teo live right across from each other. But, she genuinely wants her brother to go to, Haiwan and be together so that she can have Teo. But the brother's like, no, you can't like Teo because you know what your mother will do. And she's like, but what about you? I mean, she doesn't have a say to who he likes. She's just gonna do like a snark remark about who he's dating, but she doesn't have any say into who Inha's dating. But towards the end, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna have Teo and Weiju together and Inha and Haiwan together? Or are they gonna put, Teo and Haiwan together and then the siblings just sit on the sidelines? So Haiwan's mom decides that she needs money, so she goes and steals from these cooks, whatever you want to call them, right? So she steals from them and she runs away, and they find out that it's her, and they go to Haiwan's college, in her class to beat her up. This man slapped her in the middle of the school hallway, talking about, oh, your mom stole money from us and we're here to collect. So go to her and get your money back and beat her up. Why you coming to her? Why you coming to Haiwan to collect your money? Go to the mom, beat her up, and collect your money. Haiwan doesn't even associate with her, you know? And when the thugs were there, Teo came to her defense. And then he brought her to the classroom to talk to her. But to be honest, I don't really know what exactly went down with them. She was like, she didn't need help. So he walked away. And then after that, I guess he realized he shouldn't have walked away. So he like went running back to her. But at the same time, Inha's friend came to him and was like, hey, this is what just happened to Haiwan. So he's like running around the whole school trying to find her. Then he finally finds her. He found her before Teo got back to her. And, he like ran up to her and hugged her and then kissed her. And then Teo walked in and saw them kissing. And I'm like, which, by the way, like, I can never understand. Maybe, the subtitles just go too fast, but I can understand what she needed Teo's help with. Isn't it to get together with Inha? Because I think in one moment when he was like, I'm not going to help you get to him. And I'm like, so pretty much, isn't it part of her plan so that she can, I'm assuming she wants to use him as well, because she seems to have some sort of feelings for Teo. So, but I think Inha genuinely has feelings for her. But I'm like, your friend, your quote friend, liked her first, but then you went after her anyway. So this is just like this whole tangled up triangle crap. So we'll just have to see where this goes. The end of episode 2 was pretty much a fast forward to 5 years later. And that's when, now they said both of them, they're both working at the father's company. So now they're like, the games have officially begun. So I guess we'll have to find out what all of that means. And this wraps up our journey on the Review Garden. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this drama. If you enjoyed this reaction and review, please remember to subscribe for more insightful videos. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps our channel grow. As always, I'm truly grateful for your support and for joining me on this journey on the Review Garden. Until next time, and happy listening. Bye.